Hi folks, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and today we are going to make a really fun and small, simple necklace using some more of our Safari Design Challenge Kit from SoftFlex Company. Let's turn down and I'll show you what we're going to do. So these are the beads we're going to use, and we have the SoftFlex, and we're also going to use some leather to finish it up. So let's see, here is our, and we have two big jump rings for going through the leather at the back. So that's the back of our necklace. Then we have this really fun piece of, this is resonance shell. So then we're going to put the little, that's on like this, and then another one up at the top. And we're going to wind this up and put it on one of these little rings. So let's do that right now. We're going to put it on the ring as we go along so that we don't have to jump ring it on. It is going to be part of the ring. So up and around and over and down and straighten, and then we will put the ring on and wrap it up. I think that's good, so we'll cut the extra wire off and get it tucked in. And now that we've got that done, we will see how much we have to straighten our wire. Looks like a little bit. It's tipped backwards some, so we'll straighten her up. And she's going to hang like so. Now, as an extra little thing, what we're going to do is we're going to take these other rings. We're going to put 3 on either side of this. Looks like, oh, I know, these are for the ends. Those go up the ends. We're going to put the leather onto those. So now we're going to take these tiny jump rings I have right here. Oop, where did it fall to? Oh, there's one of them. We're going to open these up, and they should be big enough for the 2 rings to go together. Come on, you two. Come on. Fairly positive it's big enough. Oh. Let's see if once we get this turned on here. Oops, took it off. I don't want to go up to a bigger size unless I absolutely have to, because this is the way I've got this working. This would be perfect with just the 2. Come on, baby. Go on there. Now, unfortunately, since they're the same size, I can't say, just go take them off and put the smallest one on first, which is what I normally do. Because, being the same size, there's no extra piece to take up. There's no smaller or larger to... There appears to be plenty of room, but they just don't seem to want to sit side by side here. There we go. Now let's see if they'll sit the way I want. Yep. So see, what I want is to make sort of a chain with all of these rings, and then we will hook them onto the beaded portion when we get it done. So I will find some more of the tiny jump rings and we will get it going. That we've got all the small rings on, what we're going to do now is put a couple of big jump rings on the end ones. And I know you're wondering why I'm doing that when I've been making it a point to use the tiny ones this whole time. And I'll show you when we get to that point. We may switch these out for some medium-sized ones, but in the meantime we will work with these larger ones. We go, there's the scrape. Okay. So here's this fun little piece now. This is going to be our focal in the front. And we'll set it aside for a little bit and start stringing up our regular beads. So let's get out a bit of SoftFlex. I'm just going to work off the spool. So we're going to go with 2 of these little spacers. Well, if I can get it to go through. There we go. Gold druzy. Then one of these, and white gold washer. Whoop. 2 of these red rubber spacers. The gold washer again, and the white. Now we'll go with a daisy and a barrel bead. Another daisy. And now we're going to put on one of the bead caps and this big fake Navajo pearl. Bing. Oops, not that, the other bead cap. Silly girl. And now here's where we're going to hook on the first side of this. We're going to use this big jump ring to hook it up, since it's going to sit right up in there. Come on, untwist. We don't want no twisting going on here. That will make for a poor necklace piece. There we go. Now we'll put on this big bicone. Okay, so now we have to put on one of these double bead caps. Now these are bead caps that are just, they're like two facing back to back, but they're already made up, so you don't have to worry about it. So put that on, and then the howlite, and then the other double bead cap, and the bicone. Now that we have the bicone on, the next step is to put on the other side of our rings here. And we want to make sure we got them straight here. So let's make sure that there's nothing twisted when we go to put these on. Because this is, come on baby, you don't want to be twisted. But something is. See how this is acting very bizarrely here? We want to make sure that, I think we may have already put it on wrong, because the shell should be hanging to the bottom, like so. But these rings are not hanging right for that purpose, because this ring, they're all twisted here. So let's take these back off and let's see what's going on here. So we've got that there, this there. Okay, we're going to start with it down like this, so it's already down, so we know what it's supposed to be doing. We put it this on from like this, and then we'll go on bead cap, howlite, bead cap, topaz. Now we'll need to take this ring and just make sure it's going the direction we want it, and just slide her on. And then she should be hanging all right now. Yeah, that looks good. So now it's this bead cap, the fake Navajo pearl, bing, go down on there, the bead cap, the spacer, the cream barrel bead. I really like this bead. I think it's pretty. Bead cap. I also like these. I think they're really cool. They're like a hishi. Alban and this. The two rubber stuffers. That's what they look like to me. Rubber washers. On they go. Then the washer. The spacer. Oops, come back here, spacer. Or not spacer. This is a hishi. The spacer, the gold one, and then the two littles. Now it appears I have an extra little here. I don't know why, because I don't think I had any of them going anywhere else. Let's look down the side though and make sure I hadn't missed it somewhere. Nope, I don't see one missing, so we'll put it aside. Now it's all strung. What we're going to do is get it more into the center here. Not that it makes any difference because we're going to cut the excess off anyway. And what we're going to do is take our crimp bead, put it over this cute little ring here, and bring her back through. Now I don't know if these are going to go through these little spacers. If not, that's fine. We'll deal with it when the time comes to deal with it. But we're just going to work this up here and crimp it. Come on, you stop rolling. Okay, tug test, she's fine. Now I'm going to cut her way up here. I don't know if these beads will go through or not. If they don't, then we'll have to cut it off some more. But right now, I don't want an atrocious lot for it to try and go through. Okay, there we go. That worked just fine. So now we'll roll these over here. And we will do the same with this one. Now see, I have cut a lot more wire than I needed. I tend to do that, but I'd rather have too much wire than not enough. So we'll drop that down, bring our little ring in, go through here, come on, you went through the other side, you should go through this side too. There we go. Now I'm going to use this little ring as a fulcrum as I pull this down. As you can see, it helped it come down quite easily. Now let's see if we've got any looseness around here. We appear to be pretty good here. So we'll crimp this guy in place. Get the crimp right in the middle and squish, and then we turn it, get all our pieces out of the way as much as we can, squish again, tug test, seems good, and let's cut the extra wire. And there is the basis, oh, don't roll that, of our necklace. Not pretty. So now the next step is to put the leather on. So we need to decide how long we want it to start with. Let's measure her. And it looks like as it sits, it's not quite 7 inches, but pretty darn close. So we want at least 18, and I'm thinking more like 22. So if it's 7 and we want 22, we will need at least 14 inches more. Now that only is 21, but you got to remember we have our hardware to put on back here too. So since I want 14 inches, we'll cut 2 7-inch pieces of leather here. You know, I think I may have a slightly thicker leather, which would go in our end caps better. I mean, this will go fine. It's just that it will need extra glue, and see, it's sort of loose. Let's see if we've got some thicker leather. I think I do. Okay, I have some much thicker leather, and when actually to get it to go in, we're going to have to fold it in half just a little bit. Put the glue in, fold it in half just a little bit, and squish these little guys into here, which we can do, obviously. See if it'll go in pretty good. Oh yeah, that's going to work fine. So we'll cut our 2 7-inch pieces. I'm going to cut these at a slight angle. They're easier to work with if they're at a slight angle. Okay, now we'll put the extra of our leather away. And the first thing we have to do now is we have to set our little piece, our necklace piece aside for just a little bit here. And then we're going to have to get our end caps on. So in order to do that, we want a little bit of our Loctite glue. And I'm just going to, first of all, I'm going to put a dab right here at the end, so that when I fold it together, it will pretty much stay together instead of trying to come apart on me. Though it's not really wanting to stay together, is it? Well, next thing we want to do is put just a dab in the end cap here. We don't want a lot, because if we put in a lot, it will push out the sides. So now we're going to fold this baby in half and push it up into the bead, into the end cap, and just roll the end cap until you can't get it to roll down anymore. If you're wondering about that noise, my kitty Sammy just knocked over a big box of junk. Well, since that one didn't want to stick together before we put it in, which we just got to put in here, should be good and far in there enough. I'm not going to put any more glue on the end cap, on the end of the leather. I'm just going to put a couple of drops into the bead cap, or into our end cap here. I think I have enough now, but well, maybe just a touch more. There's probably more than enough there. Okay, so now we need to fold our leather in half again and push her up into our end cap. Now I have some super glue on my fingers, so it's trying to stay on me as opposed to going up into the end cap here. So we just gotta work it. Just keep it folded as much as possible, and then just push the cap down as you're pushing the leather in. As soon as it feels like it's gone as far as it's going to go, which is about now, then we'll let it dry for a little while. And we got to put them on the other side as well. Now, because we've already worked this one a while ago and super glue dries relatively quickly, I think we can do this side, the end cap on this side. So again, we just want a couple of drops of Loctite in here. And we want to fold our end cap in half. Easier said than done when you've got more than one thing in your hand. Okay. And then while you're holding it in half, push it up inside your end cap. I think I may have it just about as far as it's going to go, because it doesn't appear to be working up there anymore. So we'll let this one dry. We'll go back to this one and do it. So we'll put a couple of drops of super glue in here, or Loctite. Well, it is super glue Loctite. That away. Now we want our piece to be folded in half. And come on, baby, go up in there. Now as I'm doing this, I move my thumbnail down so I can sort of gauge how much has gone into the cap. Because I think I've got it all the way in now, because it doesn't want to go anymore. So now we'll just let those sit for a while they dry. And as soon as they dry, we'll hook them onto here on the one side, and then onto our jump ring on the other side. Okay, I'm really not sure if these are dry enough, but we're going to give them a try. And I just noticed that this one is smaller than shorter than the other, it looks like. But it doesn't matter. That issue will face the back of the... And the only way that happens is if I cut one a little longer than the other, or if one has the leather in further. But whichever. We're going to see if the Tinky Tots will hold both of the ring and the leather here, the leather end cap. Oh, it looks like it should. Oh yeah, easier than the two rings actually. You know, I just moved this and I didn't pay any attention to which side was the most newly glued, but I think it'll be fine. Super glue dries pretty fast. Oh, come on, the other side went on fine. There we go. Now our 2 pieces of leather are on. And the last thing we need to do to finish this is put the jump rings, one to hold the lobster claw and the other to help close. Now I used 2 large for these ones rather than a small and a medium or whatever I want. I didn't figure I really cared about, they're in the back, so it doesn't matter if they're bigger. So through the ring, with the lobster claw. Now this didn't feel like it closed all the way, so I'm easing it forward. There, it just scratched or scraped, whatever you want to call it. So it's in. So there we go. We hook this together. And there is our necklace, all finished. Let's put her up here so you can see her better. This is a really, really soft, supple leather, so it's going to be really nice for around your neck and such. I just realized we didn't give this a final measurement, so let's do that. From here to the little red is about, it'll be about 21 inches. So it's a tiny bit of an odd size, but not bad. Oop, none of you guys winding up there like that. You need to be like this. So there we have our little necklace with our leather backing and our little link chain, sort of, well, it's sort of a chain we made with the little tiny rings. And like I say, this leather is very soft and very supple, so it'll be nice to have around your neck somewhat. And there we go. See, there's where it sits. I don't have it quite straight, so it's not sitting quite straight, but I think it's, there we go. So there's how she looks. And because the leather is also very lightweight, of course, it's a lightweight necklace. It's very pretty. I think it turned out quite nicely. I hope you enjoyed making this with me. We have been using the SoftFlex Design Kit and Strand Safari to make this pretty little necklace. This has been Rose from In Rose's Garden, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.